This episode of the Nerf Herder Council is brought to you by Audible. Visit audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download.
Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking Nerf herder!
You can't use that word! Only we can use that word!
You're tuned in to the Nerf Herder Council, your source for Star Wars opinion, conversation, and debate. Featuring your hosts, JT.
Stormtrooper armor deflects everything except Orback hooves. They're like a horse version of Thomas the Tank Engine.
AJ.
Yeah, Rebels is a lot like our show, where we think we have a good idea and then it just fails in execution.
Steve.
The vacuum of space does crazy things to your beehole out there, man.
On this episode of the Nerf Herder Council, we all love Marvel, but Marvel Phase 4? Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or is it somewhere in between? Let's find out.
This is the Nerf Herder Council.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. We're live at those locations every other Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we go live. For example, WTF Wednesdays or whatever they're called. I'm terrible with the language sometimes. Also, WTF Fridays. AJ has been doing a lot of those, so make sure you get notified whenever we go live so you can catch those awesome off shows. You can download audio versions of the podcast pretty much anywhere you go to listen to podcasts. As always, guys, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. And go right now to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com and you can get any kind of customizable Nerf Herder Council swag you can think of in 4 different designs. So we bring on my brother, my best friend, my co-host, AJ. How is it going, man? Good to see you.
I'm your best friend. That's so cute.
I'm buttering you up.
I feel special.
Nice.
No, things are good, man. How you been?
I am good, man. I am very good. I am not going to put my Twitter handle in my name. I know that you are suggesting that to me. So right off the bat, I hate Twitter. I don't do anything with my personal Twitter. I literally just go on there to look for news or something. It's just I don't use it. I mean, if you want me to change it, I will, but I don't use Twitter.
If you don't want anyone tweeting at you, then no, don't bother.
Well, I guess I could do it like you did with the little symbols. So I'll do that next time. Look. Here we go. Hey, look at this.
Oh, is it starting already?
Okay. It is. All right. So our Uncle Tom says, "Oh my God, I stumbled into this nerdcast again." You're going to hear it next Friday, old man, when we're riding a train together. You can't escape both of us.
It's really conspicuous how he keeps stumbling into our podcast.
He enjoys it, man. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Oh, people. Look at this. Our buddy Joseph Wren is on here. He says, counting down to some serious Nerf herding. Kale McLeish says, let's do it. John, love the hat. Yeah, this is actually a gift from AJ. He bought it and didn't like it. So
it fit my head stupid. It looks good, but not on me.
Yeah, it looks fine on me. This is making for great content for the audio listeners. Yeah. There's my brother-in-law, Eric, says www.highjohn.com. Nice. Oh, my gosh. Hey, it's our buddy KXM. What's going on, man? Good to see you. So, man, a lot of people tuning in already. This is good. So this should be fun. This is something that I am not, full disclosure, fully prepared for, but I think that is part of the discussion. We wanted to talk about Marvel Phase 4 tonight because we've been doing a lot of Star Wars stuff lately for obvious reasons. But we wanted to kind of get onto some more nerdy stuff that we're into. I know that coming up, we're going to be talking some Top Gun. I definitely want to get into that. I want to, get into some Jurassic Park now that we have 2 trilogies to compare. At some point, I am going to do Tron, Stephen King, you name it. The Boys season 3, I'm loving it. It has the single best death in the entire series in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the first episode of season 3. So our uncle says we're killing it with 3 listeners. There are 10. Thank you very much.
That's a full house as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, to the topic at hand, you wanted to talk about Marvel Phase 4. And here's where, full disclosure comes in. I have not seen all of the content in Marvel Phase 4. Stuff that I have...
Full disclosure, neither have I.
Okay.
So there's some stuff, I've seen most of it, but not all of it. And I figure we can give our opinions on the stuff that we have seen. And if you haven't, we can talk about why we didn't bother.
Yes. So my brother-in-law, Eric, he says Jurassic Park is the best franchise of all time and The Boys fucking rocks. Yes, that I would completely agree with. I think let's start out by saying, what we have seen. And I mean, Doctor Strange 2, to me is the most recent thing that I have actually checked out. It was cool. To me, I came out of it like, what was kind of the point of that? It was kind of like a special effects dump to me, and I didn't really see the purpose of it that much. I enjoyed it, but I was pretty lost. Just going, well, this looks awesome. So it's kind of one of those movies like where you know how I am, dude. I suspend belief with a lot of these sci-fi things and the nerd stuff that we're into. I like things a lot of other people mostly don't, just because I'm entertained by it. And I think that's pretty much where I was coming from with Doctor Strange 2. Where do you stand on that one?
Doctor Strange is one of my favorite heroes, so it's like a Thor movie. I'm going to go in there with high expectations anyway. I agree with you that there was so much craziness going on that the story almost gets buried in the background. But I think that's kind of the point, is they're pushing this whole multiverse thing. So to have everything just be completely bonkers like it was, I think was a lot of fun. And I think it was really just more pushing the idea that anyone from any reality can show up in any movie, really, as long as they want them to. So it's just laying more groundwork for something bigger down the road, I think.
I mean, can we start there? I am not that big a fan of that idea. That's kind of like how we've, really kind of crapped on time travel in Star Wars, and, it's lazy to me. And I really don't care for it. I just, I liked the first 3 phases where it built to this big crescendo. It was one story. Everything kind of mattered. Now, I think everything to me has less weight to it. It has less importance because, if some character comes in that's going to beat the crap out of, I don't know, like Thanos. Well, maybe there's like somebody even more powerful than Thanos in, the 17th multiverse will just come in and like rip his head off. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that.
Yeah. A lot of people were really pissed off. You have gotten through Loki, yes?
I have not watched
the first episode.
I haven't watched a single episode, not a single second of Loki.
Wow. Okay.
And my wife said I would love it.
Well, okay, so I'll spoil the first episode for you. He tries to use the Tesseract that he stole in Endgame. He tries to use it in the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, and it does nothing. The Infinity Stones are rendered completely useless in the TVA. So you take like the biggest MacGuffin of the entire first 3 phases and you make them worthless. They're literally paperweights sitting in a file cabinet.
See, I don't like that.
But here's the problem, though. Once you introduce something that powerful, you either have to introduce something more powerful or you have to take away their power to get back to some like semblance of normal storytelling.
Buddy DQ says, you can't speak on this. Shut up, DQ. It's my show. I can speak about whatever I want. Go get your own podcast about making blizzards.
He's allowed to be as ignorant as he wants on his own show, damn it.
Yes. Oh, there's Dan. Discuss Metal Dan. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. My buddy Tommy says, Phase 4 was building experimental phase. Let's see, what are they building to? I'll be interested to see where it goes. I mean,
that is one of my questions, because the other thing about Phase 4 that's completely different is, it's the first one with the Disney Plus era.
Yeah.
So everything in the first 3 phases was all movies, and now we've got TV shows that we're factoring in. So they're trying to write in and around those shows, right? Like, if you didn't see WandaVision, then Doctor Strange 2 didn't make a lot of sense, because like all of a sudden Wanda is the Scarlet Witch, and where the hell did that come from? And who are these kids that she keeps talking about,
Yeah.
So it's much more interconnected than it was. I feel like it's kind of sagging under the weight of its own story now.
Yeah, that's kind of... See, okay, so Eric and Kale have good points here. Kale says, the problem is I'm no longer caring about a lot of the characters anymore. We kind of moved away from the guys I care about, introducing all these new peeps that I just kind of want to see bitch slapped.
Yeah.
Eric says, I feel like Disney is ruining a lot of the content we all once loved. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon, Eric. I get where people would say that, but I think it's better phrased than what Kale was getting at, which is like, after you go from Iron Man to Captain America to Hulk and Thor, like now that you've got, Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi and all these like B players, that, I mean, there's not as much to, and again, especially if there's not some big thing you're building to, and there might be. So
here's where I can refute that, though, because we're used to those being the big players now, because those are the movies that like were so surprisingly successful. But as far as Marvel characters go, those were the B players. The A players are the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, these major teams like that. The Avengers kind of was like B-level talent. It was any character they could scrounge up that wasn't already licensed out to somebody else. That's why Spider-Man didn't show up until, they made nice with Sony, for example.
I wonder why they have not been.
They're trying to do it again, but we're just so used to 10 plus years of those other characters that these new ones feel like nobodies.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
No, that's fine.
I've always wondered why.
I won the argument already. I was done.
Nice. Like, I've always wondered why they can't get the Fantastic Four right. There was only, I think, maybe 2 truly great X-Men movies. I mean, if you want to count the first and second ones, and even some people might say the first one doesn't even count. And it's like they've had those are some of their longest standing properties. Like, how can they not get that right? It's weird. I mean,
yeah.
You would think they would have the most experience with them and the most amount of material to work with to really flesh it out.
The X-Men one I wonder about, because those movies were good, but Fantastic Four, that team has never really grabbed me. And I know that's like heresy for any Marvel stans, but I don't know. Like, it was cool seeing a Reed Richards cameo in Doctor Strange 2, but they keep talking about that being like one of the, blockbuster movies of this phase. And I'm like, I don't really care. Like, the only thing that's going to make me care about that movie is going to be if there's something else tying into it or tying it into something else that makes me care about it, because those characters on their own don't do anything for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here, and in the chat they're talking about, Joseph Wren. He's like, here's your answer, Kang the Conqueror. Okay. Tommy, he said the same thing. Kang is already confirmed for Ant-Man 3, so does he need a big tease, especially because of his role in Loki? I mean, Kang is not some giant, at least not to me. I mean, I'm not as educated as the next guy, I will fully admit that, but I knew who Thanos was.
Really?
I I knew who Thanos was. I knew about the Infinity Stones. I knew who all these characters were in the first phase. So that's why it's weird. People are saying, "Oh, those are the B players." Not to me. I mean, Captain America was like the first Marvel hero. I mean, Spider-Man, like they're one of the originals. You know, who doesn't know the Hulk? Who doesn't know Iron Man? Who doesn't know? I mean, I could see with like Black Widow and Vision and, you know, Scarlet Witch. Like, I didn't know the backstory of Vision. I didn't know who that was, but all the rest of them I did. So it's not. I mean, I don't want to get off our tangent. I'm not trying to, like, you know, smash the thing. It's not, you know, that's not the point of the episode. I'm just saying, you know, right off the bat that this is an interesting phase of the MCU for me, because I just, like Kale said, I just don't care as much. Even, you know, I like Captain America's my favorite. I still haven't finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Because I got this guy who's like, you know, this not Chris Evans Captain America, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I just don't. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't like the concept of, well, it's, you know, Captain America it's not just about, you know, Steve Rogers. Like, no, it is. I don't like that other concept. Oh, anybody can put the shit. Like, no, they can't. Stop it. Okay? Just cut it out. I just didn't like that. And
okay. Well, based on that, I would say you definitely need to watch the show, because that's one of the key points of the show is how the hell do you replace Steve Rogers? And and that's one of the cruxes of the whole thing is, you know, basically Falcon don't want it, and Bucky's like, he told you to take it, and you totally should listen to what he says. He was Captain America. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is wrestling with that vacuum of, okay, Steve is gone now. What happens to Captain America?
Okay. All right. Well, here's a question. Mimar wants to know. Good to see you, Mimar. Thanks for tuning in. Do you think your A-list hero group was determined by your age? Big title dropped at integral time in your life, etc. I can see that, Mimar. The only thing I would say maybe not for me is because I didn't come into the Marvel movies as a comic book fan. So it's not like I was in here going, well, you know, I've read all the comics. Like, no, when they were putting Iron Man out, I was like, oh, this is going to kick ass. You know, this is cool. It's like a superhero come to life. Like, I was familiar with the characters, but I've never read comic books. So I think it might just be the popularity, or at least, you know, the prevalence of them within the pop culture that I paid attention to. Because I do have a lot of friends that are huge Marvel nerds. So I think that might be why, you know, I kind of got into a little, because they were so into it. So I was like, okay. And I heard snippets of backstory and things like that. So I don't necessarily know if it's my age. I mean, I'm 46, so that could be. But I don't know. I just, again, to me, I was like, who the hell doesn't know who these people are? Like, I guess maybe that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, you're right, because even though neither of us really were raised on Marvel Comics, we at least spent time in video arcades, and that, you know, there were X-Men video games, and there was even that Avengers video game, where you could play as like Hawkeye and you know, all these other B-list characters, but they, you know, had their moment in a video game that we poured a ton of quarters into. So we at least like heard of them. So that definitely helps a little bit, yeah. But as far as like, you know, when you grew up, like who your A-list players are, I think so. Because it's a lot like the Star Wars phenomenon, where every generation has their own favorite trilogy because it's what they grew up with. And I think it's the same thing for Marvel. So, you know, we were just past, or at least like on the outer fringes of when X-Men was like super peaking in the you know, the 90s with the Fox Kids cartoon and everything, right? Mm-hmm. So like that was the big franchise that Marvel was pushing at the time. Fantastic Four was kind of in the background. They never really got much going on. Yeah. So yeah, I always think of like the X-Men as being like the primary example of Marvel Comics to me. Them and Spider-Man, because those are the two things that were being pushed hard when we were kids.
Yeah, true. John Godfrey, my buddy DQ, he says, wait for the Marvel Star Wars crossover. Your head will pop. No. Ugh. No, that's not even funny. That's not even funny.
I don't want to be so
about.
bold as to say we'll fold the podcast, but
Yeah, right.
I'm not covering it. I'm not covering it. That doesn't exist in Nerf Herder canon.
Yeah, that does not. Yeah, we're officially going into headcanon. That's not my Star Wars. We're gonna be those people that we get so pissed off at. But yeah, so Falcon and the Winter Soldier I have to finish. I mean, I did like the first few episodes. Just something about it didn't keep me. I didn't dislike it, but I was like, oh, I missed an episode. Oh, well. And then I just didn't pick it back up. And then for that reason, like I didn't grab Loki when that started going on. I did watch WandaVision. Did not like it at all. I'm probably in the minority, but I did not care for WandaVision at all. I'm like, what is all this goofy, stupid, like I'm in a television program thing? At first it was cool. I really dug like the 50s episodes. Like I'm like, this is weird. It was cool. But after a while, it just kind of wore off. I'm like, will you tell me the damn story already? So that's like why with like What If, I'm like, what is going on here? It just, it seems too cash grab-ish. Like they're throwing way too many things out there. And I think that's one of the reasons why this phase has not really grabbed me yet. I was really excited for the new Spider-Man movie, which was amazing. I loved, Doctor Strange too. Like I said, to open the show, is kind of a special effects dump, but I liked it. And unfortunately, the stuff that I've gravitated towards the most is the most normal movie story-based stuff. Like I love Shang-Chi. I thought that was way better than I ever thought it would be. I'm really excited for Black Panther 2. Wow. The new Thor movie, is supposed to be really odd, but I mean, it's got Korg in it, so anything with Korg. By the way, can we just say that as long as we're doing stupid What If and all that kind of crap, can we please just have a Korg show? Seriously. Just give me the Korg half-hour comedy hour, Like, just piss off, Ghost. Like, I mean, Korg great. Is the bomb. So great. Korg is
anything
amazing.
With Taika Waititi, I'm in for, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I mean, this phase has really been hit or miss for me, man. Like, I mean, the Eternals I won't even go near because that just I heard it sucked. I barely knew it was out. Then every one of my Marvel friends said that it was garbage, and so
I did watch it.
Oh, see,
don't waste your time.
Well, yeah, and here's my problem: you've got 23 movies or 24 movies, whatever it is, in phases 1 through 3, and then right off the bat. In phase 4, you got this group of people that are supposedly even more powerful than everybody, and they're just sitting there picking their ass the whole time? What the hell is that about? I hate that. That's stupid.
So this ties into one of the key things that I was thinking about, both in the real world and in the MCU. So do you think that Endgame kind of screwed the whole franchise? Like when you've got a movie that's the culmination of like decades of films and 24 movies, where do you go from there? Like it's right after Endgame came out, that's when, pandemic hit. So we got no Marvel for a while because everything was shut. So you have like the biggest movie event of all time followed by nothing. And then you got to build hype again. Like how do you recover from that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think that's a very fair question. I would say that again, doing all this wonky stuff, I'm not really a fan of. I mean, it would almost be cooler if they did. I would say multiple like smaller, giant adventures, like the whole first 3 phases leading up to Thanos was cool. So if you have, like. Just do like 3 or 4. Let's say they can finally way to do a Fantastic Four correctly. Like have that building, over 4 movies to the big crescendo. Like, we gotta, like Star Wars. Like, okay, well, we got 3 movies. We got to kill Darth Vader. So, I mean, do something like that. I mean, I think people would be into that. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to top, the run up to Endgame because, I mean, the thing of it is they set the bar so high. I mean, there was really only one movie in that whole run that was really kind of, and that was the Hulk movie. And we've talked about every other movie was pretty damn good at worst. Mm-hmm. And most of them were just kick ass. I mean, so the bar is set so high there that you have to do something different. And introducing, well, anybody can come in anywhere, that I don't think that's the solution. Because again, there's no gravity to anything. Because as soon as something bad happens, I'm like, okay, well, they can just write this off. And it's
just hop universes, and there you go.
Yeah. Oh man. So I'm going to disagree.
I think they're still setting up the rules of this whole thing. So that's one of the things to I guess try to keep an open mind about is we didn't really know what the Infinity Stones could do either, really, until the thing started coming together. So this whole multiverse thing might have some constraints to it. I think they have to put rules on it because, like you said, otherwise, someone died. Great, go pull one from the infinite number of other universes out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Kale says Spider-Man No Way Home was the single best Marvel property yet. I will disagree. I will die on the hill of Captain America, the First Avenger, but No Way Home was definitely one of the top for sure. Kale also says, I really did like that What If show. Kale, there are other ways to get banned from the chat than saying stupid shit like that.
I don't know. Discuss Metal Joe's got his back, though. Animated shows are the best ones so far. What If was amazing.
I didn't know that Joe had just done his last WTF Friday on that last episode.
Well, he said animated shows, plural. I'm trying to remember what else was animated. I think that's the only animated one they've done so far. It is funny, though, that we're bitching that in a comic book franchise, we don't like the cartoon.
Well, you know what it is, though? It's like I hate Star Wars Visions. And What If just seems like that to me. Like, I don't want your interpretation of what could happen. Damn it. Show me more of the story. I have no interest in what if what's her nuts was Captain America. Like, shut up. I don't care. Go away.
Well,
I'm being a curmudgeon, guys, and I apologize for. We got a lot of YouTube subscribers, AJ, watching that obviously are from you having done the WTF Fridays and stuff. So I apologize. I can be a bit of a curmudgeon. I don't actually hate this stuff. I'm just very animated when I get worked up about my opinions. So I'm sorry if I'm coming across as a total prick to those of you who have not, tuned in on a regular episode or seen me before. So I apologize.
So I wanted to kind of like run through some of these because, like you said, you've only seen some of them, right? And I think it might be interesting to find out why certain ones just flew under the radar, weren't like worth watching,
Okay.
We've already covered Eternals, and yes, that film, I'm sorry. If anyone wants to dispute this in the chat, please. I think it was hot garbage. And it's got so many problems as far as continuity that, yeesh. Ugh. Dude, I'll tell you this, JT. I'll just say the end of Eternals for you. The Earth is a giant egg. There is a celestial, which is, like Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's a baby one of those. So it starts to hatch. So the Earth is being split in two like an egg because this being the size of a planet is birthing out of it. And they do avert it, but there's like most of its head and a giant hand sticking out of the Pacific Ocean.
I had a really bad joke that almost slipped out, and I'm really glad it didn't. So, wow. Okay. I see. That's weird. Like, I thought the way they handled Ego was pretty damn good in Guardians 2, but I have to admit that the idea of a character that's like a whole planet is pretty stupid. So
yeah, and then and like I said, there's a giant hand sticking out of the Pacific Ocean. To this day in the Marvel Universe, it's gone completely unaddressed. That seems a little large to be covering up. I don't think even S.H.I.E.L.D. can handle that one. It's completely ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And then the only reason that they didn't help out in Endgame and all that sort of stuff with Thanos was they're only there to combat the deviants. So if it doesn't involve deviants, they don't get involved.
Well, there's Joe again. He says, that's why starting over sucks. They have to talk about the Celestials to get to Galactus at some point. See, again, all this stuff is like, I've never heard of most of these characters, so I'm like, why am I caring about this? I mean, if they're just scraping for characters, then that's the thing. Like, but anyway, so you wanted to go...
is with the pandemic screwing up everything. I wonder how stories had to be altered because the release schedule got shuffled around. Maybe some of this would have made more sense or felt like it was actually building towards something if things had come out in the intended order. Because they shuffled things around. Okay, so let's go right from the top. The first Phase 4 film was Black Widow.
Awesome
Exclusive
movie
to Disney Plus.
Awesome movie.
Okay, it didn't grab me.
Dude, you know why it grabbed me? Because it reminded me. I thought it was basically like a Jason Bourne movie, but in the Marvel universe, and I love the Bourne movies. Which, by the way, there's another episode. I got to start writing these down. So, yeah, I loved that. I loved that whole thing. I was watching like this is just like a Bourne movie, but it's with Marvel characters. That's cool as hell.
In the first half, yeah, and then it went like full Marvel in the second half, where like if you can't smell, then he can't take over your mind. Like, okay. All right, now we're back in comic books. Got it.
Right.
That was a bit far-fetched there. So yeah, that one was kind of like a wet fart.
Wet fart. Well, agree to disagree.
Anything. It's like here's a story about a character that you already saw die, which means it's probably not going to affect anything in the future. Well, and every Marvel movie is about like something tying into a future story, right?
Didn't we already know that was going to be her backstory, though? At least something about like it just fleshing out her character.
Well, the same way like you weren't into Falcon and Winter Soldier because it was all about replacing Steve Rogers as Captain America. Black Widow seems to exist solely just to introduce her sister, so she could show up in future Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay, so following on from that, we got Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. So
loved it.
You say you love that movie, which actually I'm surprised about. I didn't think that would be one for you.
I didn't.
So what did you like
either.
About that one?
Again, it had a set story. It was a little derivative, I suppose, but I don't know. I just thought that it was a really well done movie. I enjoyed the story of it. It was. I think maybe because it took me by surprise. Like that was one of those ones I didn't care, and I literally just went to the theater like to see it. Just going well, because it's a Marvel movie, I'll trust them, and I loved it. I was like, oh wow, this is cool. So,
that is a fair point. Yeah, those are my favorites too. The ones that just exceed expectations, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I had no high hopes for whatsoever. I'm like,
oh yeah,
raccoon in a tree. Okay, let's see them play this one out.
Right.
And Thor. Thor is another one of my favorites because I'm like, it's how do you make Thor cool?
Yeah. Yep. And yet Thor 2 was pretty much trash. So.
Oh yeah.
That
was a turd.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Shang-Chi to me, I was just like, wow, is it Shang or Shang? Oh well, either way.
Okay, so admittedly, I'm reading off the Wikipedia page, and they break up the movies and the films. I'm sorry, the movies and the TV shows. So I don't remember what came out first. I think WandaVision came out first, then Black Widow, if I remember correctly.
I thought Black Widow came out first.
Well, they don't really tie into each other, so I guess it really doesn't matter very much. Well, Black Widow's a prequel anyway. It's pre-Endgame. And WandaVision is post-Endgame. So that's all we really need to know. Falcon and Winter Soldier. And you said that one just didn't grab you, huh?
I liked it. I'm trying to think how many episodes I watched. Like 4, I think. I mean, excuse me. I enjoyed the concept of it. It just, I didn't dislike it. It's just that it didn't grab me enough to where when I finally missed an episode, I was like, oh, I got to run back and watch that. So because I lost traction, that's like, well, I'm not going to sit here and watch 2 of these. Well, I'm not going to sit here and watch 3 of these. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I'll go back and rewatch it. I mean, eventually I'll get to this stuff. It's just, we'll see. I mean, obviously I'll start with Falcon and Winter Soldier because of the Captain America connection, but
I do get it. With everything connecting to everything, it feels like if you miss anything, then it becomes this mountain to climb instead of like, oh, I'm so excited to watch it. It's like, God damn it, now I have homework.
That's exactly how it feels. It's like me in
Really,
in Clone Wars.
I was trying to fill our brother in on everything that he needed to know about Doctor Strange 2, because he walks into the theater and he hasn't seen WandaVision or any of that stuff. I'm like, all right, let me try to give you a quick summary here, because this is not going to make sense otherwise.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid to be like, oh, well, if you haven't watched this entire series of television, then you're not going to understand what this movie's all about. Like it shouldn't be that connected, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
But okay, so Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. You did not see Loki, which dude, take the time. That one is amazing.
Everyone says that. Dude, Steph, my wife, she says that too. She said you got to watch it. It's really, really good. So, all right, so I got to check that out.
Yeah, that one's a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, come on, Tom Hiddleston as Loki is one of the best characters there is.
Hard to argue that.
So yeah, you can't really go wrong with that one. And like we've been saying all in the chat here about Kang, yeah, they've already said that's like the big threat of the next series of movies, and that's the first version of him that you get.
Okay,
so kind of seems pivotal, especially because that's where they really break the multiverse open by splitting timelines and stuff. So
sure,
pretty pivotal overall.
Okay.
Spider-Man No Way Home. All right, so I've heard two takes on this, and I want to know which way you come down. Some people say it's nothing but fan service, and other people say it was a really clever way to, get everybody involved.
I say it's both, and I just watched The Rise of Skywalker again the other day, and my wife and I were like, why don't people? I mean, I get it, like it's kind of wonky, but dude, this is a fun movie, and No Way Home was exactly like that. I mean, it's one of those movies I just left going, oh, this kicks ass. So, I mean, was it fan servicey to bring in the other two Spider-Men and, Doc Ock and Electro? Sure. But again, if you're going to have this multi-universe thing, that was kind of an interesting way to do it, because it was kind of on a smaller scale. It wasn't this whole there's a million realities crap. It was, Doctor Strange effed up a spell. Like, one guy slipped through the cracks. So that was cool. Like, I don't mind that. Like, that's interesting. So it was just a phenomenally entertaining movie. I loved it. And that's good, because I went in there with very low expectations, because I did not care. What was the second one? Far From Home? Mm-hmm. With what's his nuts? Jake Gyllenhaal? I did not like that one at all.
That was another one where I didn't really care about it, because that had the bitch of a task of following up Endgame. Like, after Endgame, you get this little Spider-Man movie coming out, and it's like, why do I care?
All right. Look, Kale's trying to get banned again. He says, Rise of Skywalker is a fun movie. Listen, asshole. You need to keep your opinions to yourself today if you're just going to be a negative Nelly.
Oof. Man, I have not gone back and revisited that more than like 2 or 3 times since it hit Disney Plus.
The wife couldn't find anything to watch, so we actually watched the sequel trilogy in order. So I actually watched about 9 hours worth of Star Wars on Monday. So,
do we need to do one of those what to watch shows? Because there's so much good stuff out there. She does a podcast with Aiken about shows to watch.
Yeah, but they watch some crap. So our buddy Dan says, I gotta admit, it's really hard to find a good jumping on point for new viewers of a franchise. Star Wars, Marvel, and otherwise. I think Star Wars is easy, but I think I would completely agree with you with Marvel, because you almost, with this phase 4, it's all over the place. And, the Marvel universe, you pretty much have to just start and go in order. You could do it in order of the movies, like when their release date, but I think it works better if you do it in that chronological order, where you start with, Captain America, and then isn't the next one, I think, is Captain Marvel. I think it goes all the way to the 90s, and then so that's what I would say. But yeah, all right. So sorry, off topic for a little bit there, but that's par for the course with us. So all right, so Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah, I thought that was good. And again, it pushes the whole multiverse breaking open thing. I love that it's all based around that stupid thing of like, wait a minute, you wanted to get into college and you didn't bother like talking to the admissions department. You came to me to erase you from existence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Doctor Strange does some really fucked up shit. He is one of the most dangerous people. That's one of the points in Doctor Strange 2 is like, man, you break the universe every time you try to do anything. And it's true. That dude just wrecks everything.
Yep.
I love it. So much fun. So yeah, so now we're on, so what if, another spoiler for you, by the way, these aren't just hypotheticals because of the multiverse. All these things exist somewhere. And that's kind of the point is like, you think you're watching a whole bunch of hypotheticals, but then it turns out that no, because every multiverse exists, these aren't just fictitious. These are things that happened in some plane of reality somewhere.
See, I hate that. I hate that. It's just that nothing matters then.
But I also think it's kind of fun because it's like your Star Wars argument or anything else where you have so much canon that you have to adhere to, it becomes really constrictive for storytelling. So it's kind of fun sometimes to come out with something that's like, you know what? Maybe it counts, maybe it doesn't. Who cares? It's a fun story.
Well, like I said, I mean, in Spider-Man No Way Home, it was cool because it was just like a little bit of it. But if the whole thing is just going to be, okay, anything goes, I don't like that. Nothing holds weight for me at that point. Because I just think nothing is going to matter because someone can just come along and kick somebody's ass. So, you know, to quote Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish. So, I mean, it's just not that concept just agitates me a little bit. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of What If, and now I'm less of a fan because I have to pay attention to it. But then again, you know, why would I pay attention to it? Why would I? I mean, if anything goes, then all of that could be crap too. So it's endless. So, all right. So Tommy says Kang for the multiversal stories, Galactus for space-based heroes, and I think he was talking about Doctor Doom for Earth-based. Yeah, he's talking about like three having different big baddies.
Right. So they've got like different types of stories that they tell, and they all fight different, threats. I like that. I think that's a good way to go. It was our cousin that was telling us about that earlier, where they had like divided it off. Like we got the Earth-based heroes, we've got the space-based heroes, we've got the magical heroes, and we've got the there's like a fourth one. It's like, I don't know, occult or something. Like there's magic, and then there's some other like mystical arts of some kind that don't really cross over. I forget what the fourth one was, but
people.
But yeah, there was like four different types of stories that Marvel had like siloed out, and then they had fun like pulling like one from one over into another story for that whole like fish out of water aspect.
Okay.
Like, Thor is like mythological. That's right, mythological. So you take like Thor, who's all about mythology and stuff, and like throw him in with the space-based heroes, with the Guardians. Like, what kind of hilarity would ensue if we do odd partners like that? So I think that's good though. I like this idea that you can like jump and have like different genres of stories and different cast of characters and stuff, and they don't all have to like meet everybody,
I get that, but I mean, again, how much is too much?
Well, I mean, after the Infinity Saga, every plot device you can ever think of is already in play.
That's why I don't. That's why I'm not into it, man. I just.
So I think that's why like something like Civil War worked so well, because that was like heroes versus heroes. Did anyone really care about Baron Zemo in that movie? Like everyone remembers the airport fight because it's, oh my God, it's like every Marvel hero fighting each other.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got to like get somewhere to like that. And Doctor Strange 2 was kind of like the tip of that, where, our Doctor Strange goes over to this other dimension and they're like, yeah, you suck and we're going to kill you. So he's like fighting all the heroes of the other dimension until like Wanda shows up. I thought that was kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. I just, I mean, how many of these things do you need? I mean, I'll bring up a perfect example. So, do we really need a character called Hell Cow? I mean, seriously.
Fuck yes, we do.
No. It is unnecessary. It's like the damn rock thing in the High Republic. What the hell's that thing called? Shit or crap
God.
or what is it? Like
I forgot that damn rock's name. Geode.
Geode, yeah.
Geode, yeah. Come on, Geode's amazing.
Hey, there we go. There's your Marvel Star Wars crossover. Geode hooks up with Hell Cow. And then they just go on all sorts of stupid ass adventures. Oh. Look at me, Mark.
You've got to be
I need
kidding
Hell
me.
Cow. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible.
Now, okay. So you're going to tell me that you have no interest in seeing, I don't know, maybe Throg?
What? Oh my God. See? Thor is a frog? What the hell?
Right. Thor is a frog. And he makes a cameo in the Loki series.
Dude, see, this is just stupid. Oh, this is just stupid.
I love triggering you.
God.
Anyway,
look at this. Tommy says, "Geode me, boy." If you don't know who Geode is, man, look it up. It is atrocious. And apparently Geode is a horny rock too. So it's even worse. That's just ugh. Anyway, okay, so moving on. Before I swear
that whole discussion about Geode probably began with the phrase get your rocks off. And they're like, what if we had a rock that was like a player?
It's just one big play on words. Oh my God. Yeah, but now he's all over that. So
yeah. Okay, so what else has come out? Hawkeye. Did you see Hawkeye?
Loved it.
Okay, how come?
Because it was good.
But it's another one of these like passing of the torch things, right? Where like Hawkeye's old, so let's find a new Hawkeye. So why did this one grab you, whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't?
I think because I always found Hawkeye to be an interesting character that never really did much with in the MCU up to that point. I mean, because he was, human basically.
Yeah,
he wasn't really a superhero. Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was cool to see him doing some other stuff. I agree with you though. Like if you really look at it, it's probably not necessary. But I thought it was cool to see him do more and have more to do than he had in all the movies. So
plus, we got Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin.
Yeah, yes. That was awesome too. We
failed to mention the Daredevil cameo or the Matt Murdock cameo in
Matt Murdock. Yep,
Spider-Man. Yeah,
yep.
So that's always awesome.
Look at,
but that's again that multiverse thing. Like if you want the Netflix Marvel shows to count, you got to go multiverse.
See, Dan says it's funny seeing JT's reaction to storylines that have literally existed since the 70s. I don't give a shit when they were created. It doesn't mean they don't suck. I mean, good Lord. How many bands have been around since, like the Rolling Stones? They're fucking utter trash. And they've been around since the 50s or whatever the hell it is. Who cares how long it's been around? Shit is shit. Good Lord. It's like that stupid Dillinger Escape Plan band playing chords that are discordant going, look how original we are. No, it's called discordant for a reason, ass, because it blows. Stop it. Shit is shit. Period. So there. Take that. God damn it.
Okay, so there's that new Black Widow. There you go.
Okay.
Kel McLeish saying, answer for loving Hawkeye, Yelena Belova.
I didn't know that was her full name. I have to admit, I'm terrible with the names.
Yeah, she's just the new Russian chick. Who cares?
Yeah, right.
Actually, the weird thing is, like, I didn't know her character name either, but I know the actress's name, Florence Pugh. Don't ask me why. I remember her real name more than her character name.
Okay. So I just behind the scenes here, I'm going to be doing an episode of discography discussion with Dan and Joe here at the end of the month. And I tell you what, man, they better not be recording the whole time because I'm about to fillet the shit out of Dan. I'll save it for then, but so anyways, okay, so Hawkeye, what do we got next?
Let's see. So movie wise, that's all that's come out so far. We've obviously got Thor next month, but
I thought it was this week. Isn't that this week?
Yeah, it is already July, isn't it? Jesus. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it comes out on Thursday. It comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It keeps getting worse.
Dude, I am so. Oh my God, the long weekends and stuff, it just messed me up so bad. I mean, come on, I told you my Saturday story, and that will stay off air, but yeah. It's been an eventful few days. Anyway, anyone who's got my phone number can text me for details, but that's all I'll say. So the other two series that have come out so far, Moon Knight. Did you see Poe Dameron as a Marvel character?
I actually have not. I heard mixed reviews on that, but most of my friends who are really into Marvel said it was pretty good. Isn't he like an Egyptian hero or something?
And I thought it was really entertaining. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea who that was, but Oscar Isaac will get me to buy a ticket. So, and if he's in a show, I will tune in. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. So,
Supernatural. That's the other category of heroes. So that's kind of where the Eternals fit in, where like they tease at the end, they tease Blade and somebody I think called the Black Knight or something.
Tis but a scratch.
Right.
Scratch
Exactly.
your arms off. No, it isn't. What's that there? Bring him in.
Oh yeah, they got right.
If we got a friggin' cow and a character called Leatherman and 3D Man, we can have the frickin' Black Knight from Monty Python.
The coolest thing that I like about Moon Knight is the same thing that I like about Thor and Shang-Chi, which is it takes mythology and makes it like plausible and real.
Okay.
So like all the Egyptian gods, they all have avatars on Earth, and Moon Knight is one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it was like an Egyptian thing. So, I mean, that sounds kind of cool.
It's all based around Egyptian mythology. So that, yeah.
Kale says, and he said this about Doctor Strange 2 as well. He said, Moon Knight review in 3 words. So many drugs. They are getting
it's
out
crazy
there
with what they
stuff.
can do with the effects budgets these days. Like, yeah, nothing's off the table anymore.
Yeah. All right. So we're at Moon Knight.
So we're coming up on this next Thor movie, and this, I have no idea what to think about this one. Are you excited for it?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Ragnarok was really good. I like Taika Waititi. Again, it's got Korg, so just give me those 30 seconds of screen time for Korg, and I got my ticket paid for.
Yeah.
It's like if I get a fart joke in a movie, it's my ticket just paid for itself. So there you go. I'm easy to please. So yeah, I'm excited.
This whole idea of a character in transition, like this idea of, okay, well, Thor's already like been through Endgame, and where do you go after an event that big? It does. I don't know. I don't want Chris Hemsworth to leave because I think Chris Hemsworth as Thor is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, where do you take the character from here? Like, there's not a whole lot else for him to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's, Dan's not wrong. I'm easy to please. I needed that laugh today. You know what I mean, you prick? Yeah. I mean, I think that's a case of, the whole run up to Endgame and Endgame itself, and also the quality of the movies Thor was in being that high and that important. So I could see where you're coming from with that. I don't disagree. He's a god. Like, what's he going to fight more gods? I mean, he already fought Thanos. Like,
the story itself isn't really very clear from the trailers either, which I think is kind of cool. Like, it's the first time I'm going into a movie not really knowing what to expect, because they usually do such a good job of like spelling it out that you can tell, like, okay, this is the villain, and these are the general plot points and stuff. But all we know is we get the Guardians, we get Thor, we get Jane Foster as another Thor, and she's got Mjolnir rebuilt.
Yeah,
how? Don't know. It's multiverse shenanigans, obviously. So get ready.
Yeah. And I read a spoiler-free review of it yesterday, and it basically said that it kind of would work better for you if you think of it as more of a love story disguised as a Marvel movie. Instead of thinking it as a Marvel movie that is kind of a love story, like if you look at it the other way around.
Ooh. I don't know. So Natalie Portman's been in a love story in another franchise before.
This one doesn't have sand. Our cousin Chris chiming in. He says, Thor 5, Project Badass. Oh,
Plus,
my gosh.
I mean, have you seen, like, Natalie Portman got shredded for this thing. Like, she
definitely went like Gina Carano. From a couple of the stills I saw, I was like, damn, she's doing some powerlifting. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Like, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be weird seeing somebody else as Thor. Because doesn't she have a different name? It's like she's like the mighty Thor or something, and he's just regular Thor. I think I read that.
That's how they differentiate him.
Yeah. So I mean that's going to be strange, but we'll see. Again, I'm hoping for something a little more grounded because everything being weird and everything on the table is just kind of getting. And maybe that's why I liked Hawkeye so much. Because it was actually grounded in something. It's like, okay, this is normal for a change. Like, I mean, I'm into all the weirdness of everything, but it's like, good God. I mean, okay, something usual's got to happen.
Well, plus they had a one-eyed dog in there. So,
yeah, yes.
I mean, that's an instant win. Instant
I was going to mention that we talked about Hawkeye, and I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, as soon as there's a one-eyed dog, I'm sold. That's the best thing they could do. Just put a dog in there. The only thing that would have been better is a dog kicked everybody's ass. If the dog was the hero, the dog is awesome.
So the dog can kick everybody's ass, but a frog version of Thor is a bridge too far.
Yeah, because dogs kick ass. I love dogs.
Let's get that trending on Twitter. # dogs, not frogs.
Yeah. Look at this. Yep.
I think it's a little cruel to name a one-eyed dog Lucky, though.
Oh, see, Joe knows one-eyed dogs are the best. He's right. I had one.
Yeah, and it was named Gemini. Gemini means twins. That's fucking cruel.
Excuse me, I didn't name her, and she was named after a dog that the director of the shelter I was working for at the time had earlier in life that was wonderful. So there. Now I hope you feel like an ass. So anyways.
No, I hope you feel like an ass for trouncing on my punchline, but that's okay.
Oh, shut up. So, all right. So are you excited for the new Thor movie, considering Thor is one of your favorites?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's more Thor, and it's the same director as Ragnarok, and Ragnarok is the best Marvel movie. Fight me.
Wow. I won't fight you.
It's so rewatchable. It's so rewatchable, man. Like you could fire that thing up anytime, and it just sits there on its own. It's for being so late in the first of the three phases. The fact that it doesn't need you don't need to know anything. You could just sit down to that one on its own, and it just stands on its own beautifully. Love it.
All right, I'm looking this up in chronological order. I'm going to tell you. Damn it, where's the list? Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to go down the list and say which ones are better than Ragnarok. Captain America: The First Avenger, yes, because it's better than all of them. Captain Marvel.
Rank all these movies before? Aren't we just rehashing an old episode now?
No, I'm just telling you which ones I think are better than Ragnarok. Let's see here. Captain America: The First Avenger, I would say. Iron Man, I would say, is better than that. I don't know about all four of the Avengers movies, but because I don't know about
not Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Winter Soldier for sure. Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I would say. Let's see. Oddly enough,
I got to go back to our ranking episode then, because I want to know where we put all these.
I don't think we ranked them all because there's too many of the damn things. Didn't we just put like our top 10 or something? Let's see. What did I like more? I don't know. Maybe that is pretty far up there. Well, I would say No Way Home. No Way Home, I liked it better. All right. Well, I mean, that's still like 6 or 7 of them, and I have a couple questionable ones. I mean, Captain America: Civil War or Thor: Ragnarok. I think I would say Ragnarok. I would go with Ragnarok for that one.
Yeah, Kale, I was saying that I think is the best Marvel movie overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
not just, it's clearly the best Thor movie. But yeah, I think as a standalone on its own movie, I think it's the most rewatchable, the most fun.
Most fun. What about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Take a guy like Thor who was like super serious and just make him goofy like that. I don't know. Maybe it's Taika Waititi's sense of humor or something. Because anytime that guy's directing, it always comes out hilarious.
Yeah. Speaking of Taika, this story is being told twice in the chat, and I didn't see this. So for people listening, if you hadn't seen this, I didn't know this. Our cousin says, today I read that Taika asked Natalie Portman to be in his Star Wars movie he's making, not remembering that she's already been in a few Star Wars films. That's crazy. I would have loved to have been there when that happened. Hey, will you be in my Star Wars movie? I'd be like, oh my God. Like, you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars movie? I'd be like, Taika, multiverse that, go back, time travel.
I was going to say,
dump out.
Dump out. Internet. Yeah. Get an actor to play a different character in Star Wars than is already portrayed. Yeah.
You know something?
It could happen. Remember, she had a bunch of look-like handmaidens, so maybe she's playing like Sabe or something.
You know something? Damn it, Joe, you're getting into Tommy's head. Can't wait for the Purgle to pull Thrawn and Ezra into the multiverse in Phase 5. All right, the next asshole to mention Purgle is getting banned from the chat. I hate those fucking things. I hate those fucking things. They suck. Man. All right, so anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I if it's not Guardians or Guardians 2, I might go with you as most fun. I could see that. It's definitely the most upbeat, I think. I think because it's always something fun happening. It's always something funny happening.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. The oh shit take from Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
He's like watching the own play, and they got dude. They got Matt Damon to play Loki. That's amazing,
right? Again,
and don't forget they got Liam Hemsworth to play Thor in that too.
Yes, yeah.
So they got Thor's brother to play Thor. That's great. Yep.
And I'm sorry, dude. It was Korg. I about lost. It was like, piss off, Ghost.
Right?
I love Korg, man. That was like my favorite cameo in was it Endgame when he's like Thor, what's it? Noob 69 is on here again. Oh my God, so funny.
All right, so let's run down the upcoming projects and see which ones tickle your fancy here, and then we can dump out on this.
Okay.
So we've got the sequel to Black Panther coming out later this year. Still don't know what they're going to do to address Chadwick Boseman's passing.
Oh, that's so sad, dude.
Yeah, that one really sucks. But yeah, so we got the last of him doing voice work for What If. That was the final thing that he did.
Okay.
So they're going to have to address that somehow. So yay or nay? I mean, based on the first Black Panther, how excited are you for the sequel?
Very. That one's kind of like a grower for me. I wasn't really sold on it at first. Yeah, it's a grower, not a shower. The more I watch that one, the more I like it. And I think, you know what I think I like about it, the more I watch it, is I realize that T'Challa is kind of like the Wakandan version of Captain America for me. Like, so one of the reasons I've always loved Captain America is because he's just that ultimate good guy, and I've never been into that sort of character before. Like in Star Wars, like most people, they're Luke Skywalker, not me. I'm like Han Solo, dude. Give me some Han Solo. But for some reason, Captain America for me is just so pristine and just above anything evil or bad that I've always liked it, and I think Black Panther's like that. So I think the character has really grown on me. So.
Yeah, the only thing that bummed me out about the first Black Panther is I think Killmonger was more interesting than T'Challa. I thought the villain was definitely more interesting than the hero in that one. But I love the world building in Wakanda in general was awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm anxious to see what they do there. But it seems like it's the new Tony Stark, where if they just need some sort of technology that doesn't exist, they're gonna Wakanda it.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
You know, Iron Man started out as like somewhat realistic, and then it just became like nanotech. And now it's like, hey, we need a thing that doesn't exist. Well, Wakanda's got it. They're like 100 years in the future, didn't you know?
Let's just Wakanda over there.
Right.
Sorry. That was not good. Just forget I tried to do that.
It's pretty bad.
Okay,
so
moving on.
We got another Ant-Man. Okay, so this is a big one. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. They've already said Korg is the villain of this one, and it's, you know, all about the multiverse, probably.
What?
The quantum.
What do you mean What do you mean Korg is the villain?
It's Kang. Sorry, Kang.
I was gonna say, don't do that to me. Dude.
So Kang is the villain.
Okay. I love Ant-Man because I love Paul Rudd, and I thought Evangeline Lilly was great as the Wasp. I forget the character's name. But yeah, I loved both.
Hope Van Dyne.
There you go.
I was going to say Janet, but that's her mom.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved them both. I thought they were really fun. So yeah, I'm into that.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Duh. Goes without saying on that one.
The Marvels. I don't know anything about this.
I don't either, and
I'm getting confused with all the Marvel stuff. We got Captain Marvel, now we got Ms. Marvel, and now we've got the Marvels.
Yeah. See, this is like those television shows that I don't know the names of that kind of came out that were like tweener shows that I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And I just didn't care.
And there's no release date, but Fantastic Four is in Phase 4 as well.
See, I mean, I would like to see that done correctly. I mean, if they could nail the thing, that'd be kind of cool. You know, with the special effects that they can do now, Reed Richards would be awesome. What's his name? Mr. Stretchy guy?
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was Stretchy Guy. Oh no, that's his. No, sorry, not Reed Richards. Guy Stretchy. That's. If we're gonna have helicopter, we're gonna have Guy Stretchy. So, but yeah, so Mr. Fantastic would be really cool. People were talking in the chat about Galactus. Silver Surfer. I would love to see that character. So
okay, I have one request. One request for the Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
I want, because we're going all multiverse on this, I want Chris Evans to do a cameo as an alternate universe Human Torch.
They have to do that. They would have to do that.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
They would have to
do that.
They
already duped everybody in WandaVision with what's his nuts playing Quicksilver from the Fox movies. So, yep. I mean, come on. Kale's got it.
He's got it
right there.
Yep. Kale says, dude, imagine this with me. The Thing isn't in it. The Thing gets replaced by Korg. Okay. Now I'm getting behind the idea of a multiverse.
Hey, it's clubbering time. Is it time for clubbering?
Oh my God.
Now I want Taika Waititi to record that line. I need that in my life.
Oh, that would be. Oh, that's the best. I love it. Awesome idea, Kale. Holy crud. Oh, all right.
Okay, so we still got a few Disney Plus shows. So we got She-Hulk coming out soon. I think that's next year. Did you see that trailer, by the way?
Yeah.
That's like original series Star Trek levels of bad for like special effects. Like, oh my God, did they just like turn the green filter on?
I'm wondering if that's. I wondered if that's like a production choice.
Either a production choice or it's unfinished effects. I hope it's unfinished, because if that's the way it looks.
Oh, so Tommy says, AJ, that he thinks he read somewhere that Chris Evans would be open to cameoing as a multiversal Human Torch. He said that while he was interviewing for Lightyear. Boy, there's something to talk about.
And he also said like there's almost no way he'd ever come back as Captain America. Like, that time is done.
No, it isn't, Chris Evans. I'm looking into the camera right at you, Chris Evans. It's never done. You will come back. Damn you. See, if I was famous, I'd be going at him in social media and in interviews. I'd be, interviewing for this movie I did, and I'd be like, and by the way, and then I'd break the fourth wall and look right into the camera and be like, Chris Evans, you're going to do another Captain America movie. Damn you. You are. Whether you like it or not, you're coming back.
Well, at least we've got like backup for the lack of interest in She-Hulk. We got Mimar here saying storyline in She-Hulk seems to be garbage. Effects may as well be too.
Yeah. Right. See, She-Hulk is just one of those characters. Like, why? Like, I don't want She-Hulk. I want actual Hulk. We have not gotten enough actual Hulk. So why are we doing the offshoot?
Yeah, I hope it's not just like a high cameo kind of thing, because, I mean, the reason she gets it is she's in an accident and gets a blood transfusion from Hulk, and that's how she gets Hulk powers. But, yeah, I really hope that Bruce Banner's like in there as like a mentor role and not just like, okay, I gave you my blood, bye, have a good series.
Yeah.
They still got to explain that, by the way. That's been one of the lingering questions out there is, we got Smart Hulk in Endgame. So he like is always big, green, and smart, but then in the trailer, he's just back to being Bruce Banner.
Well, he figures something different out every time we see him, so
in fact,
maybe
didn't he make a cameo in Shang-Chi as well?
I only watched it once. That's a good question.
I think he was in the post-credit scene as Bruce Banner, not as Smart Hulk.
Shang-Chi post-credit scene. Let's see what it says. Yeah, we don't
even need to. We've got the source of truth right here, our cousin.
Right? This is yes, as Bruce. It's good to have him on here. He's like us with Star Wars. Is like our cousin with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all right, so we're at Marvel's.
Yep. So all these don't have release dates at this point. Not even years, but on Disney Plus, we're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, whatever that's going to be. Secret Invasion, which that one is the Krull, I think is the name of the, right? Those are the green guys, the shapeshifters.
Yeah.
So in the comics, it's the Krull, but no idea if that's going to be true. Ironheart, that's someone who's like inspired by Iron Man. I think it's a girl. It might even be his daughter. It might be Morgan.
Okay.
And then we get Armor Wars, which is about basically other people around the planet getting Stark tech and having their own suits and stuff.
Okay. By the way, we're being corrected in the chat. It is Skrull.
Oh, Skrull. Sorry.
Thank you,
My
guys.
bad.
I'm really glad that people know that we're actually idiots. So, because otherwise,
also, I've been watching.
We
the
have a nerd
Orville
podcast
lately. I love the Orville, and the main alien threat in that is the Krill. So Krull, Skrull, like okay.
Kale says, "I thought Ironheart was the kid from Iron Man 3."
I mean, it's a storybook. It's a storyline from the comics from way back when. I'm sure they could write in whoever they want, but
yeah,
I know at some point I think Tony Stark's kid does take over in an Iron Man-ish sort of role. But yeah, the kid from Iron Man 3 would be awesome too. Oh, Iron Lad. There we go. Yeah, so Tommy L is correcting, saying Iron Lad. So the kid from IM3, I guess, becomes Iron Lad.
Dude.
It's comics, dude. These things have been running for decades. They got so many different spin-offs.
Iron Woman, Iron Man, Iron Lad, Iron Child, Iron Infant.
Right? But the big thing that's missing from all of these, though, if you look at this, I guess Fantastic Four would be the closest thing to an Avengers movie as we're going to get. Like, there's no big culminating new movie or TV show in this phase.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's very, what was the word before? Experimental. I think Tommy L said that.
Yeah. Cousin, Iron Maiden. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And a good day to you, sir. Oh, Big Lebowski reference.
So I think for our midterm report card on Phase 4, I don't know, where do you put it? Like
incomplete.
So you don't know where it's going, so that's why you can't say if you like it or not.
Yeah,
or just because you haven't watched everything.
Well, no, I mean, even if I had watched everything, like there's stuff I like and stuff I don't. And if we start getting something that kind of starts to coalesce into a certain direction, then I'll be able to say. You know, I mean,
they seem to be going towards a multiversal war.
Is that really a solution, though? That's not like, that's just anything. Again, that's anything goes. That's not really a thing. It's just, let's throw crap at the wall. No one's really coming up with a storyline. Like, okay, well, we've got this character. Okay, let's use him. You know who could kick his ass is this guy. Yeah, but then this guy would come in from universe 3428. It's like, what the hell is that? So,
the Infinity Saga threatened half of the universe. So what's a bigger threat than that? Multiple universes.
Or why don't they threaten the other half?
They just walk it back, get more Infinity Stones. Like,
just do the snap,
and then everybody who got dusted last time stays, and everyone who stayed gets dusted.
Exactly. Just redo the first MCU list of movies. Just redo that, but just have it like all the people who died survive. There's your like that's all you got to do. And in this one, Don Cheadle is only in Iron Man 1. And then they get Terrence Howard Jr. to play War Machine and Rhodey for the rest of them. That would be awesome.
All of a sudden, Eric Bana's in there. Like, what the hell, Hulk?
Oh, my God. See, somebody mentioned that in the chat up above, and I don't want to get into that because I will get crucified, but I think that movie's great. I really like the Eric Bana Hulk.
We're gonna wrap on one bonus question for you then. Eric Bana or Ed Norton? Better Hulk.
Eric Bana because he got Jennifer Connelly, whereas Edward Norton got Liv Tyler.
Okay.
Kind of a stupid reason, but see that would be an episode that I would do. Like compare the two. I mean, since the Incredible Hulk was crappy, compare that with the Hulk, the Eric Bana one. We could have Hulk. There's your multiverse, Hulk versus Hulk.
I love it. Do you want to do that as a future episode? You want to watch?
Hell yeah, I'll do it. Hell yeah, I'll do it. The only problem is like I'm very biased to the
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I'm very biased to the Eric Bana one because I really liked it, and I think that the Incredible Hulk is the crappiest of the Marvel movies, at least in the first three phases. Because I haven't seen Eternals, but I have a feeling that it's like a much bigger shit sandwich. So,
I never got you to lose a bet to watch the Ewok movies. I wonder what wager you would accept to watch the Eternals.
I would willingly watch the Eternals. So you have to remember, okay, and then we'll get out of here on this, okay? The thing with the Ewok movies is I watched that slop when I was a kid. And I was like, what in the F is this? So it's like show me on the doll where Star Wars touched me. That's what the Ewok movies are like. It's like bringing back memories of being, abused as a child.
Dude, oh my God, it's not that bad.
Yes, it is. It's awful.
Bad.
It's awful.
You just didn't drink enough.
No,
now we have the benefit of alcohol.
Oh, and this will be the real last thing. Speaking of drinking and something that's actually hilarious, you don't need alcohol for. The new Beavis and Butthead movie was actually really funny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Now you're the same one that thinks Anchorman 2 is good, though. So
great movie.
And you didn't have too many issues with Bill and Ted Face the Music.
And not great, but Could have been worse. I think my bar for sequels is now set at Coming to America.
Ooh.
Because that second Coming to America was probably the worst comeback sequel of all time. That's another episode, but yeah, it was absolutely horrifically putrid. Kale, there's a new Beavis and Butthead movie. Yes, it's on Paramount Plus, and it's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. And the writing, I think, is, it's about them trying to score, of course, but it's actually kind of intelligent how they do it, because it's like they get into the space program somehow. And so this woman is trying to get him to like learn how to like work the rockets and stuff like that. Like they're writing about it. It's like, I mean, and again, I might be biased, what's it? Mimar. Yeah. Earlier she's like, well, do I have bias because of my age? On Beavis and Butthead, I might, because I was, 18, 19, 20 years old, something like that, when Beavis and Butthead was like at its heyday, and I absolutely just loved Beavis and Butthead. So yeah, Kale, there's also a whole bunch of the old episodes on there too, and some of them even have the music videos.
Oh, nice. So, I'm going to check that out then. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. So
something you can save your time with is don't watch South Park: The Streaming Wars. The pandemic specials were great. Streaming Wars, not so great.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There's our recommendations to close out the show. What to watch and what not to watch.
Yeah, right. So we've got some good stuff upcoming too, by the way. We've already, teased a couple. So we've got our Jurassic World versus Jurassic Park episode coming up. We're going to do a Hulk versus Hulk episode.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get back to Star Wars eventually, I'm sure, but Star Wars is kind of, tabled for now. We did a bunch of Star Wars anyway. Time to get on to some other stuff. Top Gun. Yeah, we got to do Top Gun still. Yeah. And sequels that disappointed, apparently. I don't know. And don't forget, you also agreed to watch a couple select episodes of The Orville to talk about as well. So,
oh boy, that woke stuff.
We're going to cover all the bases.
Yeah, we're gonna get woke. I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm never sure where to tread on those topics.
It's a Star Trek knockoff, dude. How bad can it be? It was. I mean, the whole show was supposed to be a Star Trek show, but Seth MacFarlane got turned down for that, so he just went over to Fox and they're like, "Yeah, we'll do that. Just change the proper nouns."
Okay. Well, anyway, on that note, we'll close up shop. So, thanks all you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. We will be right back here on Wednesday, July 20th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button so that you get notified when we go live.
All right.
AJ,
no, I can't do this anymore. I have to cut you off. Learn your YouTube shit, man. There's a subscribe button and there's a like button. There's not a like and subscribe button. This is not Gatlin. You don't call your hotline. Okay? Subscribe to the channel. Click like on the video.
As I was saying, click your like button, the subscribe button. I don't care what the fuck it's called. That way you get notified every single time we go live. For those of you who are only listening on audio platform, I just dumped AJ from the show because he can't keep his whore mouth shut. So, anyways, click all those damn buttons on YouTube so that you know when we're doing stuff. There you go. Okay? There you go. So, YouTube, do that.
You know I control the show, too.
I am aware of that. And there he goes again. So, and I forgot about this.
Now it's my turn. Now I'm in charge, Phasma. I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
Look, I know it's separate buttons. I just say it like and subscribe. Sorry, I'm not saying buttons, but whatever. People know it. Do all the podcasty stuff. There we go. So do that. We're brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. My recommendation is 3 books right now, and they're called Titan something or other, but they're about the WWF in 1995, 96, and 97, 98. And it's all this behind-the-scenes stuff of what was going on with WWF back then, and they are fantastic. It's a trilogy of books. It's called the Titan Trilogy. So check that out. You can get the first one for free if you sign up at Audible. So don't forget to do that. Also, customizable Nerf Herder Council swag at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. And hey, hit us up on Twitter at NHC Podcast. That's where we hang out and don't really do much, but we're trying. I'm just bad at social media because I end up yelling at people, and I don't want to add to the negativity. So, until next time, I'm your host, JT, at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ.
At Drake Adams 579. Keep peeled on there for my Thor review as soon as I see that. Maybe over the weekend. If not, I'll see it by Monday at the latest.
All right. And guys, we will catch you next time.
This bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my Nerf herder.
You my Nerf herder.